Hey class, welcome to week 3. I'm in my house. This is the way my videos are always going to look. You don't want the blinds open because it's very bright outside today. So I wanted to tell you that you probably just took the hardest test you're going to take all semester, and to not give up if you did badly, because there's a lot of questions on that test, and there's just a lot of information. The thing about the elements test that is so important is for you to understand and appreciate music appreciation class and the things that we do. You need to understand all the elements that are involved in music, so that when it comes time for you to write your concert credit report or for you to do your Prezi timeline, you understand the things that are important, and you understand what you're listening to, and you know how to choose music and how to make it mean something to you and to get something out of this course. If you don't understand the elements of harmony or the elements of melody or rhythm or form or texture or things like that, then it's hard to describe music if you're not sure what it sounds like. And so that's why it's really important for you to read and listen to any examples within your text talking about texture or different things about melody. As you're listening to music excerpts, please don't just listen with like your natural ear. You need to be looking at when you have the title, and you can see, it's going across time, but there is stuff below that it's telling you as you're listening. Please make sure that you are reading that information, because if you don't know what a French horn sounds like, it's hard to describe, well, this is the part where the French horns play the main theme, or this makes it homophonic because of this. And the notes usually are going to tell you all of those things, or a lot of them. And the further we get into the material that you're learning, the less it tells you, because they've already told you in other assignments. Just so you know, please make sure that you're reading the things and the information that it gives you. I also want to tell you that in Connect and McGraw-Hill Connect, you have unlimited access to all of the listening. You have, I think, unlimited access to the review and also to the Learn Smart activities. You can go back if you didn't get all the points. There's no excuse for you not to get all the points every week, because as long as you're completing the assignment, you're going to get the points. I mean, like, if you listen to all of the music, you should get it. I had a student this week that I didn't have any listening recorded for her for grade, and then we discovered she wasn't submitting the assignment. So make sure you're always checking to see if there's a submission button on quizzes and on listening on a review assignment. So just wanted to encourage you, if you did poorly on Unit 1, they will get easier. Unit 2 is fairly easy, but make sure that you're starting with Learn Smart, completing the Learn Smart before the deadline. If you find that you're not doing well on quizzes or tests, could be that you're not doing enough of the Learn Smart activities, or you're not doing them at all. I will remind you that Learn Smart is 20% of your total grade. And so if you think that's an optional part of this course, then you're wrong. And listening is another 20%, and Prezi is 30%. I'm going to talk a lot about your timeline in the video to come. I'm going to try to go through quickly because I don't want to hold you up. And so you will have a quiz this week, listening assignments, Learn Smart activities. Most of the time, this course, you're going to have the same things every week. The thing about the Prezi timeline, it causes you to kind of put all of the information that you're learning, culminate it into a project, instead of just learning facts and taking quizzes. And I don't really want to grade a bunch of papers. And so this course is just not about writing papers. It is about understanding the timeline in which people lived and what they did and what was going on in the history of music. So that's why it's important, and that's why I put it as 30% of your grade. So let's get into that. I've got several resources under week 3. You'll see my little picture here, kind of depicting the Renaissance period. And we're going to go into Middle Ages and Renaissance, into the first period of music history. You have your assignments due next Sunday. You will have 5 listening activities, and then only one. Actually, it's just Middle Ages this week. And I think week 4 we continue with Unit 2 and finish up with Renaissance. It's really important that you set up a Prezi account. There is a link here to getting your Prezi account set up. There are a bunch of Prezi video links that I highly recommend. They're just tiny little, some of them are 20 seconds long, some of them are a minute, but literally you can watch them all in under a half an hour, and it'll really help answer your questions how to have a really good Prezi. And the better Prezi you have, the higher grade you're going to get. So you will need to go to the timeline link here. Let me make sure you see these things before I move forward. You have a guide. You need to download and print this so that you see what needs to happen in your slides. I'm going to show you what that looks like so that you can see how important this is. First of all, it tells you, the things that you've got to have on your slide. And then for each section that we're doing, you have to have, these are the things you have to have, and according to the rubric, which I'll show you as well, the slide 1 needs to introduce the period and list the dates. All the dates need to be there. All periods need to be labeled. And slide 2 needs to have a 3-sentence or more overview of the period, and then list any major music events that took place in that time. This is the time that you don't go to Wikipedia and you don't go searching on the internet. As you're learning in LearnSmart, take notes. I would definitely look at the slides that you've got to create for Middle Ages, and as you're learning the material this week for Middle Ages, take note of the main things. And so you are starting kind of a little notebook of all your information that's got to go in your timeline. If you know it's required, then you can do that as we learn it, instead of going back and trying to find some information. Your main source of this information for your timeline comes from your McGraw-Hill text. So don't go to outside sources. I will tell you this, I will take off points if your dates do not match up with the dates in our book. So don't go looking for dates for Middle Ages that don't correspond with our book. Look at our textbook, because when you look at our textbook, you will know the exact dates. Okay? And that's what you'll be graded on. Let me also show you the rubric. That's not it. I have it here somewhere. It's up here. All right. In order for you to get full content, this rubric is listed in your week 3 assignments. And so I would really read this through and make sure that you know exactly what is expected. If you want full credit, you better have all of these things listed. That includes for each composer in the future, when we start doing real specific composers, you've got to have their biographical information, when they lived, when they died. I will take off points, and a lot of people lost a lot of points even though I told them I've got to have this information. Here's your rubric. It tells you what to do. Okay? You will find that here, there. I would download that and print it so you have it and know exactly what's expected. All right, so here's the timeline link. I'm going to try to make this quick. I've got to get to a recital this afternoon. Once you go into this timeline link, you're going to log in. And then it's going, mine just came up. I created another account. But you're going to say new to Prezi. Unless you aren't new to Prezi, then sign in. So I'm going to say sign up, because you don't have to pay for anything on this. You need to go to basic. Don't go to individual, basic. Then you need to go to basic, just the basics. And this should be all you need to do. Sometimes they change this. And then you type in your name and your last name. All right, and then your email address. I would use your school address and put in a password and press continue. You can push here to sign up with your Google account. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and log in and show you what it looks like. There are some videos of a finished Prezi so that you know what your Prezi is supposed to look like. You may not copy that information from what you see. All right, and so all those videos that I talked about that take you less than half an hour, I would watch those, and then you're going to know exactly what to do once you get into your link. Read through your rubric, and then take a look at these timeline examples. Just so you know, this is the page, oops, this is the page that's going to look like, and you're going to create something from a template or something from scratch. If you're going to do it from scratch, be prepared to put a bunch of information and pictures and just set it up. And you can do that, and all these videos in here will show you how. Okay? So I hope this helps. Just note that your first Prezi is due on March 1st. Get back to that. For some reason that freezes. Your first Prezi is due on March 1st. Your first Prezi, and I will include this information in here, your first Prezi includes information for Middle Ages and Renaissance, and then Baroque. So you have 3 sections of music. Wait, forgive me. Middle Ages and Renaissance. That's it. Your second Prezi will include Baroque and Classical. And then your last one will include all 4 of these plus Romantic and 20th century. So when you're done, I would set up your timeline at the beginning with 6 major bubbles, 6 major sections, so that you can just add 2. You can go ahead and set up all 6 of your bubbles because you'll have 6 time periods of music history. And then you need to label them: Middle Ages, Renaissance, Baroque, Classical, Romantic, 20th century. And so you keep all of your information for Middle Ages all within that one bubble. And then all your information. I don't want just a string of information. I want to be able to see that your information is organized. And you will see that when you look at an example of a Prezi music timeline. So I hope this helps. Get started on Monday so that you have plenty of time. Make sure that you are delegating time within the week, setting aside specific time for this course so that you don't delay and get your assignments done. Online classes require that you work very independently, but you know you can always contact me if you have a problem or question. Have a great week.